I have a feeling my life would be a heck of a lot easier if I could program. That is, if I knew my way around a language beyond English, a language that could help me build an application, programming. Unfortunately, I do not sit on that side of the geek fence. I have to rely on developers to create things, sometimes to take my ideas and transform those thoughts into tangible products. I mean, software is tangible. You can't hold it. I mean, you could hold onto a disk, but you can't really touch software, but it's still something you can use. And if you can use it, doesn't that make it tangible to a certain degree? Maybe you've wanted to get started in programming. We've mentioned a few utilities that might come in handy for you as a beginning programmer or someone who just wants to try a little without trying too much. Is there a good starting point? I don't know. That's kind of up to you. It depends on how badly you want to learn. And I was doing a video the other day that you may have already seen. We were talking about Alice, not the person, but alice.org, where you can download a utility that can let you create 3D experiences for education or entertainment. And my neighbor, believe it or not, the remember the CEO of the game company Hidden Path? They've created a couple games for the Xbox 360 marketplace. Had an interview. He showed it off live, demoed it before anybody else saw it. Anyway, he was watching my live stream a couple houses down. And I was doing the review of Alice, talking about programming and beginning and my history of programming and whatnot. And he IMs me. And he says, "Hey, have you checked out hackadyhack.net?" I was like, "No." And after I was finished with the video, obviously I wasn't reading my instant messages when I was recording the video, but I saw it afterwards. And I pulled up the website, hackadyhack.net. As a matter of fact, I can probably pull it up here, hackadyhack.net. I have it sitting here on my notebook computer. And it looks kind of fun and interesting right up front. The title is "Wanna Hack Like in the Movies?" I was like, whoa, I was kind of drawn in. And this is where it will really get interesting. Pardon me while I turn off the second monitor here so it looks a little better. It says, "Code yourself a blog in 6 lines. Or your own IM in about twice that." So 12 lines, you can have your own IM client? Really? In just 7 lessons, totally conversational. Let's say 13 and up, which I think is a fair assessment of my audience, 13 and up. And this is essentially right now, it's a utility right at this point only available for Windows. They say that they're working on a version for OS 10 and Linux, so they're not trying to leave anybody out. He's essentially taking Ruby and simplifying it and making it easy for you to just kind of get started. Creating something very, very simple. I don't think you're going to rule the world with Hackety Hack, but certainly you could get started with it. He's written bylaws, which I think are just absolutely fantastic, and I wanted to read a couple of them to you. The bylaws of Hackety. And he notes in here, Hackety Hack is fundamentally a browser and a programming language, for now, Gecko and Ruby. And he says he's only using Ruby because he knows it. Hopefully more languages can be added. And with that, if you would want to get involved with this project, I'm going to make a call to action and say contact him. Let him know that you'd want to throw another language in there and to possibly extend this very simplified approach to creating things using a programming language, maybe a one that you're familiar with that isn't already being used, at least at the point in time that you happen to glance at hackadyhack.net. He says, again, this isn't about Ruby. It's about simply offering a place for plains people to tinker with code. That's kind of neat. And he notes that IDEs are a disaster. Noobs should only see one non-scary window free of tree controls and pinned windows and toolbars. And you know what? I would completely agree. It's so daunting when I look at a programming environment, an IDE, and I look like, I've got an idea of what I want to do, but it's just kind of overwhelming. And I guess for some people, that's kind of what a blank piece of paper is. I mean, here's a sheet of lined paper, and it's blank, and you may have writer's block. You can't even start. That's the way I've always felt when I said, you know what, I think I'm going to try it. And then I open up some kind of programmer's editor and some type of tool that can help me build, and I freeze. The computer's fine, but I freeze. So I thought that was really nice to have there as a bylaw. And he says he wants to stay away from project files and make files, and he notes that those are trappings of a typical IDE. He says Hackety Hack also adds simple libraries for common things. So it's very interesting. Version 1.0 is out. It's been out for a few months now, and I wouldn't have known about it had my neighbor not told me about it. And again, he's got a good degree of experience in this world since he develops games for a living. That's his company. He's the CEO of a game company. Very, very well. I think they're a good game company. I'm kind of privy to some things that you don't know about, but you'll know about them soon enough, and then you'll freak out when you find out that the guy is my neighbor. Anyway, thanks, Jeff, for passing that tip along, hacketyhack.net. Certainly looking for any other type of resource that can help people get involved with this whole world of software. Maybe you will take this and build something, some kind of program that we could all download. As I noted, though, this is currently only available for Windows. But feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. Maybe you got tips and tricks for budding programmers. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. And you're more than welcome to stop by our community full of geeks at geeks.pirillo.com. And then you're also welcome to stop by the chat room. We're typically talking tech, even when I'm not paying attention to the chat room. Trust me, the reason why the live video, this thing, is going out all the time is because, well, I can. And it's more than just me sitting here. It's also the community that's kind of playing along, making fun of me when I'm not paying attention to them. It happens, and inevitably, every time I pay attention to the chat room, something bad happens. And then I have to kind of smack someone and then go back to my my evening, which I'm going to do right now. But you can watch me streaming my life online live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.